Hi. I'm here to rank the show versions of Skeletor. I'm a big fan of the Masters of the Universe franchise. Skeletor is one of my favorite villains of all time. So I feel excited to rank the show versions of Skeletor. I have six versions to rank. In sixth place is the Revelation Skeletor. He certainly does have some cool moments, but overall, I think that his role in the show is underwhelming. Instead of feeling like the big arch enemy, the most villainous and the most capable of posing a challenge for the heroes, he at times feels like the comedy relief antagonist. And Skeletor is certainly a funny villain. It's one of the things I love about him, but it did feel like Skeletor was being treated more as an annoyance at times, despite the very impressive things that he accomplishes. It felt like he was ultimately being treated like he wasn't the biggest villain in Eternia, not the most capable or smart or evil. It just felt like it wasn't the most dignified role for Skeletor. In fifth place is the 2021 reboot version of Skeletor. There was a cartoon that came out shortly after Revelation, and it has a cool take on Skeletor. Cool design, cool characterization. I do like him. Um, so fifth place could seem low. For me, him being in fifth place feels more like a personal taste thing, where I certainly like Skeletor being a really cool, intimidating villain for He-Man, but I also like seeing the fun side of Skeletor, and I felt like the 2021 reboot Skeletor didn't really have that, where he is cool enough, but I don't think he's fun enough for my personal taste. But definitely a cool Skeletor, so I could definitely understand why a lot of people would rank him higher. And it is a good take. There's lots of very entertaining, solid takes on Skeletor, so there is some competition. In fourth place is the New Adventures of He-Man Skeletor, who I felt reluctant to give a chance for a long time. I was not a fan of the design. But I did ultimately watch New Adventures of He-Man, and even though the design for Skeletor is not my personal preference, and I don't think he really sounds like how I would imagine Skeletor to sound, I ended up liking Skeletor. The big thing that works about him is his characterization. He is the very capable, intimidating antagonist while also being the incredibly fun character that I love. And even though I don't think it's the right voice for Skeletor, it is a cool voice to listen to. So even though the design is not the best, it would be my least favorite Skeletor design, I do really like the characterization that he has in it. In third place is actually the Revolution Skeletor, which could seem surprising because Revelation is in last place, but I feel like Revolution was a huge upgrade for Skeletor. And at first, I didn't think it would be. At first, it seemed like Skeletor would be a henchman character that wouldn't get to shine, and I had lots of concerns about it, and I had hesitations, and I feel so happy to be proven wrong. He is incredibly intimidating, he is funny, he has great interactions with Hordak that I loved. And they're able to find a way to make Skeletor and Hordak both awesome. I was worried that Hordak was going to overshadow Skeletor, but Skeletor really got to prove himself and prove why he's even better than Hordak. And Mark Hamill really got to shine as Skeletor. He did voice Skeletor in Revelation, but because I think the material wasn't the best, I don't think he got to shine as well. I feel like it's Revolution where he got to shine. Even though he was good in Revelation, I feel like it's Revolution where he really proved himself as a good Skeletor. The top two was very hard for me to decide because I love the top two a lot. In second place for me, the classic Skeletor from the very first He-Man cartoon show, who did guest star in the She-Ra cartoon show. And he is arguably the most memorable Skeletor. He has such an amazing voice. He is delightfully entertaining. I really do love him a lot. He really takes up the spotlight, and I feel like the show is not the same when he's not in the episodes. So he is a great Skeletor, and it was very hard to decide between two and one. If there is anything that I think the classic Skeletor lacks is, even though he looks awesome, there are times where I feel like he's not quite as intimidating where I want Skeletor to be. I definitely love the hilarious Skeletor stuff. I love his sassiness, but there are times where I feel like his dignity is a little bit lacking. Particularly in the Christmas special, even though Skeletor is hilarious in it, it's also a bit embarrassing at the same time, even though I definitely love the Christmas special, one of my favorite Christmas specials of all time. But what's done with Skeletor, I definitely have mixed feelings about in that. But in first place is the 2002 reboot Skeletor, who is amazing. The 2002 He-Man reboot is one of the best cartoon reboots that I've seen because it felt like it had so much respect for what came before, while also doing new things that were really exciting. I felt like it really did what reboots should do, and I feel like that very much shines through when it comes to Skeletor. He is still sassy, he still talks in a funny voice, but he is awesome. He is incredibly intimidating. He gets to show why he is He-Man's archenemy, why he's one of the best cartoon villains of all time. He is able to be scary when he needs to be without uh, losing how funny he can be and how entertaining he can be. So for me, the 2002 reboot Skeletor is about as perfect of a Skeletor as there ever could have been, and he really set the bar very high for takes on Skeletor. So I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know if a lot of people would disagree and put the classic Skeletor number one. I could definitely understand why, and it was very hard to decide between them, but for me, 2002 reboot Skeletor is my number one. And if you've seen all the different show versions of Skeletor, feel free to let me know what your ranking is.